Welcome back to Dwayne's Storm Extreme Box Stock Slot Car Garage, Episode 3. In Episode 3, I'm going to talk about a few additions and corrections, things I missed in the first two, and then the focus of this episode will be handling magnets as it pertains to downforce and how we measure that. Okay, so first of all, one correction I need to make is I said we could use any size gears, pinion and crown. That's incorrect. We can use any brand pinion, 7-tooth, and crown 25 gear, 25 tooth. So we are staying with the stock number of teeth that the cars come with. I have a list of the rules. You guys can take some screenshots of this to get it. Any body except lightweight Indy body, because those are really, really light. Any silver electrical, any position guide pin, all the way back or one forward is recommended. Storm's Extreme or Tyco armature can be trued but not balanced, 5 to 6 ohm range. I'll get into the particulars of that during my engine breakdowns. Storm Extreme motor magnets, Storm Extreme handling magnets, any size rubber front tires. They come 355 stock. Solid front axle with spacers, no independent front wheels, but that's a different class, it's a different car. Like I was saying, any brand pinion and crown, 7 and 25. Any size rear rubber tire. The 450s work good on the Wizzard track. Dwayne, Ron, and Carl have Wizzard, and Iggy have Wizzard track. And the 450s work just fine at Scott's track as well. Rear wheel axle spacing, which is what I talked about in the last video. And that is it for those. This is what we consider box stock. It's stock because the engine, the motor, is a stock motor, 5 to 6 ohm range. You can buy motors that are 3 ohm or less. Those are super fast. We're not going to go with that. We're going to go with the stock type motor. It can be trued. Right now, Lucky Bob is the only one who can do that. None of us have a com cutter, which I'll get into more in the engine series. So generally, the stock arms are $5. If you get a trued one, they're $7 or $8, something like that. Not very expensive, very affordable. Okay, moving on to the other corrections. I forgot to mention what the front axle looks like when you slide it back. So you can see it's a little bit back in the window, no big deal. But the main thing is I like to make sure that these tires aren't rubbing on the body, and they're not, because the fronts are a little less narrow than the rear. So if that was rubbing, I would go to the effort to carve out the front. And how you do that is with your Dremel, put a bit like this on there, run it at high speed, and then you would just bring it right into the wheel well to carve it out. So it makes a nice circle. Carve, carve, carve. And then there's going to be some excess material here. Take an X-Acto knife and cut that off. Otherwise that's going to rub on the tire and make some grooves. And I also forgot to mention how to oil the rear axle. What you're going to do is put just a drop on the gears. You're going to put a drop in here. Try and keep it inboard and also here. If you get too much oil back in here, the oil will migrate into the hub and then your wheel will spin right off. Not mentioning any names, but well, actually I will. That happened to me. So my name's Dwayne. if that happens, you got to start all over, clean it real good. You might not even be able to get the oil out of the hub, so you might be kind of screwed there. So not too much oil, just a little bit here and here and here. They say 10 minutes of solid run time is how often you should oil the whole chassis. And I'll go over how to oil everything when I go through the engine stuff. All right, so we're up to 5 minutes already. I'm gonna stop there because it takes forever to download these onto YouTube. I'm gonna do the next video will be on the magnets downforce. Okay, thanks for tuning in.